What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another reaction on immediate draft grades once the draft finished up. And today we're going to be reacting to the Ringers 2019 NBA draft grades. So this was written by Jonathan Sharks of The Ringer. I will leave a link to the article in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. So this is obviously super premature. These players have only played 40, 50, most of them less than 65 games, obviously because the season got cut short in their career. So we don't know if they're going to be good or not. I just want to see what they gave it on draft night. So I think it'll be fun to react to this today. So yeah, let's get into this. The 2019 draft hasn't been all that good. So the Zion pick, that was an easy one. An A+. Obviously, he's probably lived up to that A+ already, even though he's only played, 19 games in his NBA career. It sucks that he did get hurt and missed the first 40, 35 games in the beginning of the year, but let's just hope that next year he'll be fully healthy for at least most of the season, and maybe he won't play back-to-backs, mainly for his career, and they'll put him on, not a minute restriction, but I guess just a game restriction throughout the year, like he won't play more than 70 games in a season, stuff like that, but he's a freak on the offensive end. He definitely needs to improve on his defense, but his offense is already one of the best at his position in the NBA. I said position weird there. So they gave that an A+, pretty easy one there. Grizzlies, job, this should probably be an A+ as well, but an A. Same on a GPA grading scale, so A+, A, pretty much the same thing. You get the same grade. So Ja, he's been fantastic this year. He's arguably been the best rookie from this draft class so far. He maybe had some consideration of being an all-star this year, but obviously he wasn't going to make it. But you know what? He was probably pretty close. He led the Grizzlies to actually be good this year. A lot of people thought, including me, that the Grizzlies were going to be a top or bottom 3 team in the Western Conference. And John Companies helped them be the 8 seed, and they'll be a playoff team if we do get playoff football. So, yeah, he gave that an A. Okay. Also, I read this before. The 2019 draft has come and gone. How did the Knicks screw things up here? I just have a question for non-Knicks fans, because I haven't really been a Knicks fan all that. Like, I'm still a Knicks fan. They're still the team I probably want to win the finals most, usually at the start of the year. But, like, I'm not a die-hard, like, I'm going to, like, live, breathe, sweat this team out, because I've been disappointed a lot. But, like, do you guys think that's, like funny when people say that? I don't know, because, like, I don't like the Browns, because I'm a Steelers fan. But, like, when people joke about the Browns, I'm not like, haha, typical Browns. I don't normally say that. And I guess for baseball, it's probably the Mets. But I'm a Mets fan, so I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a Knicks fan that I just don't think it's funny. Because maybe it's just so overused that, like, haha, whenever we can jab at the Knicks, let's do it. I don't know. Do you guys think it's funny when people do that? Or is it just like, we've heard it so many times? I don't know. Just wanted to ask you guys that. Like a I guess, Knicks fan's opinion. So, let's go here. What do you give RJ Barrett? Did he give it a D? He gave it a B. He's probably been a B so far, maybe a B-. Obviously, he's been inefficient, but he's been solid at scoring at the rim when you watch him play. His left hand is really good. And he was probably drafted into one of the worst positions here, as the Knicks fired their coach, in the first quarter of the season. They fired their president. They built this team with a bunch of people that don't fit RJ whatsoever. None of these guys can shoot besides Marcus Morris. He was playing with Elfrid Payton. He was playing with Julius Randle, Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis. None of these guys can really space the floor all that well for RJ Barrett. It's super frustrating. I really don't want to talk about it because it's just straight incompetence from the Knicks that you just like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And it's also on coaching. Maybe because Mike Miller and Fizdale, they didn't want to get fired, or they wanted to play for their job, and they were always going to play the best talent. But still, I'd rather have RJ Barrett or Reggie Bullock, Frank Trier, guys that could shoot the ball at least around him. I don't really want to see Mo Harkless or Elfrid Payton around RJ Barrett throughout the year. All right, so that was the top 3. That was pretty much a given on draft night. So the next pick is made by the Atlanta Hawks, and that is when they did take DeAndre Hunter. So they gave this a B. Hunter did struggle to start out the season, but he had his ups, he had his downs. It doesn't look like he's going to be a star in the NBA, but it's looking like he could definitely be a rotational guy in the NBA, or at least a solid starter one day. I don't think he's going to be a top 20 player in the NBA, but there's definitely, he could be a number 4 or 5 on a really good team, and he could just be that hustler, that rebounder, that all-around player. He's a good defender. He could possibly space the floor one day in the future, and be like kind of that 3-and-D guy. So a B. Yeah, I mean, he's probably around RJ in a B- C+ range, but I'm not going to knock on that. Darius Garland, he gave this a C. To start out the year, this was probably a D, but he got better throughout the year at scoring at the rim, passing the ball, and just kind of scoring in general. His offensive game got better. I would probably give this a C+ as well. I guess maybe Barrett and Hunter have been a little bit better. So maybe a C is right, but I would say it's between a C and a C+. Who was 6th? The 6th pick in the draft. Was it the Wizards? Why can't I remember? Oh, no. It was Minnesota where they took Jarrett Culver, and he gave this a B. Culver has been very inconsistent this year. He hasn't been all that good. This is probably in the C plus range as well as with these other guys. Also with RJ Barrett, I forgot to mention before, he was really good on defense in the beginning of the year, and then I don't know what happened. He really fell off in the second half of his rookie campaign. But yeah, he gave the Jarrett Culver pick a B. It's really kind of hard to find what position he is really. Is he a 2? Is he a 3? Is he a backup 1 in the NBA? Who really knows at this point, because we're going to have to see how he develops, how he grows into his body, because maybe he's still developing, obviously, his game, so we don't know if he's going to be a 1, 2, or 3 in the NBA. He needs to get more efficient from the field, and I think he could be a solid defender in the NBA. Kobe White, this was a player that also struggled in the beginning of the year, but really came on in his second half of his rookie campaign. He will probably get on an all-rookie team now, maybe push for all-rookie first team. If you had to say all-rookie first team, I don't know, none, Hero, Zion probably will get it. John, maybe Kobe will get that last spot, who knows? Well, there's obviously PJ Washington and Eric Pascal, so we'll have to wait and see on that. He gave this an A. Honestly, from what Kobe White did this year, I would say a B, B+ is pretty much what I would give Kobe White so far. He's really good at scoring at the rim. He's a good shooter. He's good in transition. He's quick. He's versatile. And I think he could be a solid playmaker in the NBA, and he gave this an A, just a little bit lower. Jackson Hayes, I'm not as high on Jackson Hayes as a lot of people are. I would give him personally a C grade so far. He gave this a B. I think well, at least that's right now. I think he's very raw, and I think that's obvious to see, and he's going to get better with experience in the future, and he'll get more under control in the court, kind of like how Mitchell Robinson was in his rookie year, same as Jaren Jackson Jr. recently. They're going to get in the foul trouble. They're kind of going to be all over the place, but when he gets smarter and more experience, he will be better. I just don't know if I'll ever see him as a top 7 center in the NBA, but you know, there's definitely a chance, or maybe a top 5 center, I should say, but I think he could definitely be a starting center, but I don't know if that'll be on a good team or a bad team in the NBA. So he gave this a B. I'd probably drop it a letter grade to a C, maybe a C-. Wizards Hachimura. And a team that is just really bad, and so many moving parts where just like you look at their day 1 roster to their last day or their last game, and it's completely different. They had so many injuries throughout the year, so it was an up and down season, at least for the Wizards, mainly down. But Hachimura, I think, wasn't that bad, and I don't think Hachimura was all that bad, and I definitely don't think he warrants a D. I honestly think Hachimura had a better rookie campaign than Jackson Hayes, Jarrett Culver, Darius Garland, probably DeAndre Hunter, maybe, and then maybe RJ Barrett as well. So a D, I think, is a little harsh, and I'd probably give that a C. I would give it a B-. Maybe, honestly, I'm giving it a B. He did miss some time being hurt, but I think he could be a nice stretch 4 if he could develop kind of a 3-point shot, which it was pretty inconsistent this year. And if he could just be a good post defender and just quick on the perimeter, I think he could be a very valuable player in the NBA for years to come. Cam Reddish, like some of these guys, was abysmal to start out the year. He came on in the second half. His true shooting percentage got better each month he played. So I would probably end up giving Cam Reddish a B- or a B, because he was arguably the worst rotational player in the NBA in like November and December, but he came on as of late, especially in the second half of his rookie campaign, kind of like Kobe White, as I mentioned before. Yeah, so an A is a little high. So Cam Johnson, this surprised a lot of people. A lot of people thought that he was going to go in the high 20 range, maybe low teens, but he went 11th overall in front of guys maybe like Tyler Hero, PJ Washington, Sekou Doumbouya at the time that people were kind of shocked with. But his niche. He's going to be out there to shoot the 3 and just be a situational guy off the bench. He's probably never ever going to be a top 40 player in the NBA. Maybe even, he'll never be a top 75 player in the NBA. But he's a guy, if he could just shoot 40% from 3 throughout his career, high 30s, he's going to be valuable. It's going to be valuable in the NBA. I don't know if he'll ever be a good starter. Maybe he could develop into like a Danny Green type role. I just don't know if he'll ever be as good of a defender, because he's just not, and he's a little bit older as a rookie coming out. I don't know if he mentions his age, but yeah, he's a 5th-year senior, so he was like 22, 23. He's a little bit older. He gave this a B. So it's kind of shocking that he gave Hachimura a D and this a B, but I would probably say this is a C. It wasn't great, wasn't horrible. There was a lot worse guys they could have drafted so far, but I would say it's around a C. for this pick. PJ Washington was definitely a surprise. I didn't like this pick personally, but I thought they were still going to try to bring back Kemba at this time. I actually liked Tower Hero for them to maybe kind of brush off Malik Monk and pair him up with Kemba Walker. But they ended up going PJ Washington, another guy from Kentucky. And he gave this a B, and I didn't like this pick at all. I didn't think PJ Washington was going to be all that good in the NBA. And he was solid his rookie year. He definitely was. He was probably a top 10 rookie. He'll be on all-rookie first or second team come when those awards come out. And I was too harsh on him. I think a B is fine. For honestly what people thought, and at the 12th pick in this draft, you could maybe push for a B+. Moving on here, we have the Heat taking Tower Hero. Ooh, we gave it a C. Okay, Tower Hero, I mean, he wasn't spectacular in his rookie year, but he was definitely a top 10 rookie out of these guys, and I might have not even mentioned him for the all-rookie first team before, but he was definitely a good rookie this year, and he's definitely going to be a valuable piece for the Heat going forward. They didn't want to maybe include him in a Chris Paul trade. That's how good he was right away for them, and he's going to be a really good shooter, off-ball player as well in the NBA, and he could be a, an okay playmaker at the two, playing off kind of Jimmy Butler and Kendrick Nunn this year, and obviously Dave Duncan Robinson as well. A lot of good shooters there. Not really Butler. Nunn was all right, but obviously Robinson and Tower Hero is what I was getting at, and I think a C is too harsh. I think it should probably be an A- for this pick. So Celtics here at 14, they took Romeo Langford. He really hasn't done much in the NBA. He was up and down from the main Red Claws throughout the year. He played a little bit here and there. Never really played all that many minutes a night. We didn't really get to see that much from him at the NBA level. He was solid in the G League. Wasn't crazy in the NBA. And a B might be, if you want to give this just like an NA, like we didn't really see enough from him, give it a C. But a B, too high. This is just based off what I'm saying their rookie year, and this is obviously hindsight, and at this time I would have gotten most of these wrong, so I don't want to come off as cocky or anything, because this is incredibly hard to do once this happens. Draft grades are like impossible. That and player comparisons, it's like impossible to get these right. You're maybe a genius if you can, but it's mainly luck. It's pretty much everything in the NBA, because there's no scientific fact that says this is a letter B grade, that's a letter C grade. It's all kind of a subjective opinion. Yeah, I would probably give it a C just because we haven't seen that much. Sekou Doumbouya, he showed some spurts, and I would give this a C+, B-. He's raw, he's young, he's coming to a whole new game, coming over from Europe, and I think he was solid this year. He had like, I think a 10 or 14 game stretch where he averaged around 14 points and an above average true shooting and effective field goal percentage. So I think he could actually be a starting player in the NBA. He's definitely going to need experience. He's definitely going to need just more reps and just kind of more repetition on the just getting shots and obviously more defensive reps. But I think he could be a solid player in the NBA. Give it a C+, probably a B- for Sekou. So the Magic here, Chuma Kiki, this is a NA. We didn't get to see a lot from him. If you want to base it off this year, because maybe they could have helped the Magic, you're going to give it an F because he never played. But we knew he was going to miss his whole rookie season. So if he's going to be good next year and the years going forward, he could be a very nice steal for them at 16. But we don't know, so I'm not going to say anything about that pick. But he did give it a B. Nickeil Alexander-Walker showed out in the Summer League, played pretty well in the preseason. But he wasn't all that good in the regular season. He was very inconsistent. There was games where he would shoot like 2 for 14 sometimes. It just wasn't all that good for him. But I think it's going to be there. I think with experience and time, he will get better. I would say this is about a C, C+ pick for the 17th overall selection. But a B might be a tad bit too high. Pacers, Goga Bitadze, another player that didn't get a ton of reps this year, but he did play a little bit for the Pacers team. I wouldn't say he was all that spectacular for them. It's looking like Sekou coming over from... We're never playing kind of in America. It's going to be new for him. And if he could be a floor spacing center, he could be a very valuable player in the NBA. Probably give it as a C. We didn't see too much. We didn't see too little. So I'm going to give it a C. And he wasn't all that bad when he played. It's just he's very inexperienced and he's pretty raw. San Antonio Lucas Šamanić didn't really play in the NBA, so we can see a C. He was mainly in the G League. He might have played a couple games at the end of his stretch this year, but I just don't remember personally. But I would give it a C because we didn't really get a full sample size. It was a very small sample size either way. Matisse Thybulle, this is an A pick for 20. I personally love Matisse Thybulle going this draft. I tweeted about him that I think he was one of the more NBA ready players, and I wanted to see him go to a contender, and he did for Philly. You might not think they're a contender, but that's your opinion. But he's amazing. He's I think he'll get all rookie first team. I forgot to even mention him before, but yeah, he might even get all defensive second team. He probably won't, but maybe he will get some votes. His defense is incredible, and if he can develop to be a consistent three-point shooter in the NBA, he's going to be a such valuable 3-and-D player. He might even be the best at that specific category, 3-and-D, one day in the NBA. Maybe that might be a little far-fetched, but that's an A for that pick. So 21, Brandon Clark, the Memphis Grizzlies, he gave this an A+. Yeah, we can give this an A+ for the 21st overall pick. He might be on all rookie first team as well. I forgot to mention a lot of people before. I do apologize. But an A+ is fair. A or an A+ I would go. So I'm not going to argue that at all. Moving on here, we have 22 Grant Williams. An A is probably too high. He's a good defender. He hustles. And he's kind of sneaky athletic for his just kind of frame on the floor. But I think an A is definitely too high. He really wasn't anything on the offensive end. It's just, yeah, he can hit a layup and open dunk. His three-point shot was horrible this year. Yeah, he really wasn't a three-point shooter this year. So an A, a little bit too high for Grant. I'd probably do a B- around the RJ Barrett range. OKC, Darius Bazley. I really like Bazley. Super athletic, but he's super raw coming over from high school. Was kind of a risk, but, you know, I think it's going to pay off for the Thunder. They're going to have to continue developing him. I think a C is a fine grade for that, so I'm not going to argue that. So I'm thinking Ty Jerome. I actually really like this pick if he can develop into their backup point guard and maybe groom to be a starter one day in the NBA. I think his court vision is really good. I think his ball handling is really good, and we didn't get to see a lot from him this year. Some G League time, injury time, but we got to see a little bit from him, and I would give the season about a C because we didn't see too much, too little. We're going to get a lot of C's in this because it's going to be like that for a lot of these players because they've only played 60, 50, some of them 5 games in the NBA. Blazers taking the C or little. A lot of people thought he might have got in the top 10. He fell on draft night, and kind of rightfully so. He wasn't all that good at UNC. So a C, probably go with C-. I'm not going to really go D for a lot of these, but yeah, I'd go for a C-. He's going to lack kind of floor spacing. He is 6'6", so is he going to be a 2 or a 3? I think the defensive potential is definitely there, and it'll get better on that side of the ball, but I'd go with C-. Dylan Woodmer, we didn't really see anything at all from him this year, so it's pretty much an NA or a C. Mfiondu, Kevin Jelly, so we didn't get to see that much from him either this year. Obviously, he was on a loaded Clippers team. Some people thought he was going to get traded in the Marcus Morris trade. A B, too high, more of a C or an NA. Jordan Poole, this might be a D+. Actually, no. I'll give it a C-, just because how bad he was to start the year. Yes, he came on a little bit in the second half, but I don't know. I don't know if that's for real. I don't know if that's legit. I think he could maybe be like an 8th man off the bench and could be a primary scorer off the bench. But, you know, if he's going to be down in the NBA, getting that the 28th pick, that's fine. Keldon Johnson really wasn't super good in the NBA. We didn't see a lot of him either, so it's going to be an NA or a C for me. But 30, Kevin Porter Jr., this is an A+ for me. Getting him at 30, I think he's going to be a very good rotational player in the NBA. I think he could be a starter in the NBA. I think he could be like a 4, maybe a 4, maybe one day a 3 primary scorer on a good team. I think he's that good, and he was supposed to go in the lottery, but he did get suspended from USC, and then some things kind of dropped him, some pre-draft things, and then obviously some background things. So I think steal of a pick there at 30, probably the biggest steal here in round 1. Yeah, going through this, probably him, Brandon Clark, are probably, and Matisse Thybulle, 3 biggest steals in round 1, I think we could say. So yeah, that is going to be for me. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think with any of these. Did I say anything stupid that you disagree with? Or did I say anything you agree with? Let me know, or what he maybe said. Let me know in the comment section below. Episode 2 of the 2000 franchise will come out tomorrow. You guys will see what team we are using for that. And I'm really excited to do that, so be on the lookout for that tomorrow. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video.